Hello. Ivor Perl is a Holocaust survivor who has been honoured by the Queen with a British Empire Medal for his work in Holocaust education. His story of survival has brought him to the attention of prominent politicians, clerics, rabbis, and many others. For many years now, Ivor has been going into schools and colleges telling of his horrific experiences in Auschwitz concentration camp and making a very deep impression on the students he speaks to. He has also made many television and radio appearances in which he speaks of his time in Auschwitz, and there's even been a short animated film about his life. Ivor was also instrumental in bringing the Nazi war criminal Oskar Groening to justice.
The trial produced controversy when another survivor, Eva Kor, hugged Groening. It was a humanitarian gesture, she said. It was distasteful and abhorrent, said others.
You made the news back in May of 2015 when you were to give evidence against the SS guard.
Oskar Groening. Sitting in a courtroom, dozens of reporters, judges and lawyers and whatnot, and suddenly my daughter, who accompanied me, because I couldn't have gone without her, she said, "Dad, look, he's here." And I picked my eyes up and I could see a frail old man, two nurses, one either side of him. And literally, I could feel my hatred just draining from me. I said, "You bastard, why didn't you come in here with your uniform, with your checkbook, that I could hate you? Now that you're here like another human being, I find my hatred is gone."
As if all this wasn't enough, it should also be mentioned that Ivor is a successful businessman who has done a great deal of charity work through his Masonic connections. And he gave me the privilege and the pleasure of having an informal chat with him about his involvement with the Masons. We are going to talk today about Freemasonry.
Correct.
But you're mostly well known for talking about your experiences in the Holocaust.
As a camp survivor, yes, to various groups and children, mainly children. Well, not children, young students.
That's who you normally talk to.
Yes.
And so have you ever given a talk or an interview about Freemasonry?
Not at all, not at all. People don't realise that we say that people, when you ask, you're going through the third degree, it actually comes from Freemasonry. Because the third degree is supposed to be very, very quite
That's like an intense form of questioning.
Exactly.
I'm going to give you the third degree now.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly. And
that usually means a pretty hard time.
Yes.
Do you think you became a Mason because of your business activities, because you are a businessman?
No, wait a minute. I don't know if you're asking that, did it help me financially becoming a Mason?
No, I'm not asking that.
No, I'm going to say no, not at all, not one bit. No, I think that, I'm not sure now it's a far more different society, but in the olden days, to be a businessman, you had to be financially viable, because a number of part of the ritual is giving charity. So every time you had meetings, and you used to be invited to other lodges, to other meetings as well, at the reception there's always collection for charity, because charity is one of the highest principle of Freemasonry. So there's an awful lot of charity work involved.
So I read from that then that the reason why you were invited to become a Mason is because you were considered wealthy?
No, not wealthy. I don't think wealthy, but would have to be sort of, how should I now? There had to be some money spent over and above your daily expenses as well, yes. Because it costs money to belong to any organisation, right. Yearly fees, and every time there was a meeting, and there's an awful lot of meeting that you were invited to other lodges as well, as friend, and then every time there's a lodge meeting, there's always charity connections. Right. Because the Freemasonry are involved in an awful lot of charities.
Right. So, of the three truths of Masonry, brotherly love, relief, and truth. Relief is giving people
Relief.
food.
Well, there's
Or-
other things in life of relief as well. There's a physical, mental, financial, social, just relief in general.
Giving people relief.
Yes, if people, like for instance, accidents happen, Freemason lose somebody loses their life early in life, then the family have to be looked after. There's charitable relief, and there's other and relief in various ways as well.
Right. Okay. Yeah. You're well known for saying it's not a secret society, but a society
With secrets.
With secrets.
You mean, you say, what's the difference?
Well. First of all,
Well, let me put it out this way. Anything that you want to know about Freemasonry, you go on Google, you go on books, and you can find out. To me, that's not secret. Anything that is secret that you should not be able to find out from anywhere.
Right, but are you saying that everything about Freemasonry is available?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So.
But saying, as a Freemason, yes, they expect you to be honourable and respect certain things.
Right. So.
And part of the ritual is that whatever you do, don't brag about it. Don't go about.
Right. So even so in order for all this information to be, all this so-called secret information to be available to the public,
Yes.
someone's had to brag about it, and
Who started the ball rolling in the first place?
so I mean.
Who split the beans in the first place?
Exactly.
I don't know.
So,
but,
so even though all the beans have been spilt,
yeah.
I get the impression from you that you're still not happy.
No. Because part of the ritual is you're given a certain initiation, and they answer you certain things, expect you to live by it.
Right. So.
And I'm not saying is that if you want to know about Freemasonry, there are other things, other places. Go and look at it, and they can tell you what it's all about.
So you feel that the whole thing with respect to truth is being truthful in yourself and to other people.
Yes.
And if you're obeying those rules, then that's and you take those rules very seriously, don't you?
Very,
You
very.
are.
Yes. And anybody with a police record cannot become a Mason.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Part of the principles of Freemason is that you're not supposed to discuss politics or religion.
Right. Okay. Well,
That's
there is a
okay.
bit of a contradiction here because I also understand that one of the prerequisites is that you've got to believe in God.
Yes. No, wait a minute. You got to believe in God, meaning which God?
Well, yes.
Exactly.
So what's the Freemasonry God?
But depends what religion you are.
Right. So
There are Christian religions, Muslim religions, Hindu religion, Jewish Freemasons.
Right.
So it doesn't tell you which God. One has to believe in a being, in a divine being.
So I see a bit of a contradiction there because you're not allowed to talk about religion, but
Right.
in order to become a Freemason, you've got to believe in God.
Well, the principle is that as a human being, one has to believe in something other than oneself.
Ah, right, okay.
No, right. We're saying about God. When I say God, as a Jew, you look about the Moses religion.
Yeah,
As a Christian, look about the Jesus religion.
yeah,
As a Muslim, you look about the Allah religion.
yeah.
Now, which God is it? So it doesn't seem to say that you cannot believe in any sort of other God than yourself. One has to believe in a being.
Okay,
Because there are rabbis who are Freemasons, priests, and mullahs. There are various things.
mullahs.
Yes, and each one has to go to the same ritual.
Presumably, because of your oath and stuff, you don't want to say what the rituals are, even though we can easily find out.
Right,
but you
that's
don't.
right.
You actually don't want to tell
No.
us,
No,
because that would be betraying something.
exactly.
But can I ask you, is there something in those rituals that
That contradicts.
that pertains to the fact that you've got to believe in God? Is there something you do in the
No, not at all.
Right.
The whole Freemason is purely just of being a nice human being.
Right. Okay.
And the fact that Jews and non-Jews, being it could be Christian, Muslim, meet in the same meeting, go through the same rituals, proves to you that no, there is no sort of distinction.
Right. Okay.
The basis of all religion are the same, loving each other as it is.
Right.
So there can't be any contradiction to being a Jew or a Muslim or a Hindu.
So in a way, this could be like a more universal religion.
Very, and it is.
Yeah.
You're very, very right. But also, it is like a club. And I remember when I was in business, I was looking forward to going to the lodge meetings. They keep away, just to go for a few hours away from the everyday ritual or the everyday life or the toil and work, and just be amongst friends of similar standing as you.
Now I know some Masons.
Right.
And I know one very high up Mason in particular.
Right.
And he tells me that there is a particular lodge, and he did tell me the name, but I've forgotten, but it was solely Jewish.
Yes.
I don't know if you know the name of that lodge.
The Shield of Jacob, or the Shield.
No.
There's no such thing as a Jewish lodge or non-Jewish lodge. There are lodges which are
Predominantly Jewish.
predominantly Jewish for various reasons, because it doesn't meet anywhere, anytime. It can't meet on certain times like Saturdays, and
Right.
food, the diet as well.
Yeah, I see.
But no, there's no such thing as a Jewish lodge per se. There are lodges that have got 99% of the members Jews. Yes,
Right. That's interesting in
but
itself.
it's not sort of a Jewish lodge per se.
And were you part of one of those lodges?
Yes. As you know, I'm a Holocaust survivor, and it never leaves you. Being careful, always to know that you're a Jew.
Yeah. So just the fact that
So the fact that most of the brethren were Jews as well, obviously, made me more sort of at ease.
So, just touching on the Holocaust then,
Right.
do you know why Hitler hated the Masons so much?
But Hitler hated a lot of ritual things, Catholics as well,
Right.
and
Yeah, he did.
also because of the secret society,
Right.
and of course Freemasons, all of them were. I don't know how to say that. You had to be a certain standing to be able to become a Mason, purely
Right.
from a financial point of view, time availability.
Right. I see. Okay.
And I think, and Germany and Nazis, I think, objected to anybody who could be a threat to them.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, just to clarify, just slightly backtracking, my feeling about you, Ivor, is that you were invited to become a Mason
Yes.
because of your successful business.
No. And I think that's where it all goes wrong. And saying about that the Freemasonry, that's all right for businessmen. If you want to be getting on in business, you become a Mason. Nothing whatsoever. Nothing
Right.
whatsoever. But one has to be of a certain standing, financially, emotionally, and spiritually.
Right.
So it's not that one has to be wealthy.
Right.
But obviously the fact that you have to take part and time off from work and going to things, and it does cost you money to belong to a lodge, and you have to have charity.
So
It's not.
So you do need money to be able to become a
Well,
Mason?
you have to. Yes. Well, you have to be at a certain standing. Yes.
Yeah. So
Although.
So if you had someone of a very, very high moral character but no money.
No. If somebody comes there, yes, I'm sure that they can go through Masonry as well. They'll be helped along. And in fact, when talking about charity, you'd be surprised how many Freemasons themselves need also help financially,
Right.
and especially when they lose a loved one.
Right.
And once a Mason, the Freemason try to help them as much as they can.
So you all look after your own.
Yes.
Right. And
I mean, look after your own is not the right expression. Help each other.
you all help each other.
Right.
And
Although the charity that we raises is not necessarily per se for the Freemasons.
No, of course, I know the Freemasons, they raise a lot of money for
yes.
hospitals and,
That's right.
and all
At
kinds
every
of
meeting, part of it, the ritual, and then you get together and the reception, and there was a fundraising as well.
You don't have to answer this next question, but
what?
you've had various tragedies in your life. I'm
Right.
not talking about the Holocaust, I'm talking since the Holocaust.
Right.
Has being a Freemason helped with those tragedies you've gone through?
Oh, do you know
I'm
something?
thinking in particular the death of your wife.
All I can tell you is, it's there if one needs it and wants it. But I think all I can say is from my own self, that I found that I'd like to handle my own sort of pain, my own what's the name as well.
Your pain is personal.
Personal, yes.
And you don't want to inflict it on other people.
No, exactly. It's not that it wasn't there. Yes, the relief is there as well for emotionally and financially.
Right. Okay. I'm just going to turn the light on because it's a bit dark.
Yes. Yes.
So you've never used the Freemasons
No. And also
for any personal.
And not only that, also I think to myself how lucky I am that I don't have to.
No. Right.
Other than emotionally, I didn't need their help. But it was there. It was there, and if it's wanted,
it's been
if
right.
you wanted.
Right. No, that's fascinating. Okay. In your meetings, is there any particular interest in you, more as a survivor as well as a Freemason?
No. It so happened that's why that part of the ritual, a part of the ceremony is that everybody tries to wear a dark suit, white shirt, and a black tie. No distinction whatsoever.
Right, so
as far as everybody else is concerned, unless you actually know the people who are there, because I mean, there were dozens or could be hundreds of people in the lodge.
Right.
That other than the people that you know.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, has it made any difficulties for me for being a survivor? That's what you're saying.
Well, has being a survivor...
No.
So there's been really
none whatsoever.
Okay.
None whatsoever.
All right.
No, it's never come into it.
Fine.
But don't forget, as I mentioned to you before, that Freemasons themselves were being persecuted by the Nazis.
Yes. Yeah.
Taken to the gas chamber. Yeah. So it's
and you think the reason for that is due to its secretiveness? Its
well,
ritual?
yes, jealousy.
Jealousy.
Well, like all sort of usual behaviour, purely jealousy.
Yeah. Okay.
And scared of.
So I've asked them this next question. I've asked 2 or 3 Masonic friends I know,
right.
And they've never yet given me a satisfactory answer.
Right.
So you can't talk about politics. You can't talk about religion.
Right.
So what the hell do you talk about?
Sex.
Oh, okay. So
no, Philip. You know something, and this is why possibly about the secret society. Obviously, and how can one keep away from politics and from personal life and anything like that? But what it was in trying to say that there cannot be any political persuasion or anything going on. Right. And obviously, the people who join Freemasonry are conservatives, or Labour, and liberal or whatever it is, Jews, Christians, and others as well.
So you can talk on a certain
level,
surface
yes.
level about these.
But then nothing in depth.
Right.
No, yes.
When you got the British Empire Medal, the BEM,
right.
was getting that in any way influenced by the Masons?
Oh, none whatsoever.
Not at all. Okay.
None whatsoever. And of course, when I had my medal, there was 4 or 5 other people as well who got the medal for various other charitable things or social things as well.
Right.
Of course, I got mine for Holocaust education.
Okay. So just getting back to what you do discuss when you're at your meetings,
right.
Is this a secret? Would you rather not tell me?
No. I mean, I cannot. Well, don't ask me anything what goes on in the ritual side of it. But I can assure you that once the ritual is over, the discussion is usually all about drinks, dirty jokes, and nice jokes, or whatever it is.
So
A very, very human and nice social atmosphere.
So it's just
but nothing drunkenness, nothing untoward at all.
Right. So okay. So you just tell you just tell jokes.
Well, no, but it was surprised what there is to talk about.
Sport, I suppose.
Sport, yes, sport, definitely.
That's a big subject.
Yes.
Keep people
And the joke will always get you a very, very far.
Okay.
A good joke.
A good joke.
And you have to forgive me, because I'm trying to sort of I'm trying to give you answers without breaking the code of the secrecy of Freemasonry.
Yeah. And this interests me because even though that I can go on YouTube and find out all this for myself, which
so they tell me.
But it's just for your own kind of peace of mind and your own sanity and dignity.
Exactly.
You just
part of the thing about Freemasonry is that what happens in the lodge happens and keeps in the lodge.
Yeah, and
it doesn't. I mean, even in your own family, it doesn't matter who. So
yeah. So if someone spilt the beans about something that happened in your meeting, you would probably just raise an eyebrow, but and probably wouldn't mind so much, but you would never disclose it yourself.
No, because you know why? Because as I said before you become a Mason, you expect to be a man of certain standing.
And that means honesty. You're talking honesty.
Honesty.
And integrity.
Integrity.
Yeah.
And part of integrity says, look, what happens here is supposed to be, keep it inside, and it's not because of any secrets there, because the secrets available.
Have you ever been known to see someone disciplined or kicked out?
God almighty, did you have to ask me a question, Philip?
You'd rather not. Well, I mean, you have to
no. But all I can say is, I haven't had many occasions to come across that, no.
Right, but there have been some.
No, I plead the Third Amendment.
We'll leave that one there.
Yes.
One of your reasons why you wanted to join the Masons was to help you with your English.
Exactly.
Because you're Hungarian.
The discipline of ritual.
How does that help with English?
Well, because the rituals was in English.
Right.
The ceremony, there's a 2-hour ceremony going on.
Right. So.
And as you progress in Freemasonry, you have to learn most of the rituals practically by heart.
Right. So that.
And to me, that was a test. Being a foreigner, the test to overcome the what's the word now, difficulty about learning the language and giving a language like a piece. It gives a ceremony in front of hundreds or dozens of people. And spectacle people. So
you've had to conduct.
Oh yes, definitely.
Right,
as a master,
yeah.
This is what a master is. That you in control of the lodge.
Right. Okay. So can you just name? So that's clearly a very good way in which you benefited.
Yes.
It's helped you with your English.
Yes.
Is there any other ways?
Financially, not at all. Not one bit.
Right.
Purely emotionally. Just as a human being.
Right, so it just helps you. I mean, it's just the whole social aspect.
And I found learning the ritual a challenge, and I found that alone is a character building.
Character building. So there we are. That's key. You feel that being a Mason has helped you to build
very
your
much.
character.
And also it helped me bringing out a bit, because I'm very, very shy, especially before I started giving lectures about my Holocaust as well, and that alone. But because of Freemasonry, you have to take part. It's like a progression. You start the first degree, the second degree, the third degree, and each time you have to go up with it as well. And eventually expect to become a master. Then you take charge over the whole lodge, and that helped me an awful lot as well.
Yeah. So basically, sounds like you've been given a lot of responsibility. At
exactly.
times.
Oh yes.
And right, that's fascinating.
And what's more, like anybody else, you always want to try to do your best.
Yes.
Although there are brethren who find it very hard to learn. It's also they're being helped along, but you want to prove that you can do it yourself.
Fascinating. Right. Okay. Yeah. Good. Okay.
But that's where brotherly love comes in. So in other words, they'd expect you to do certain things, but if you cannot do it a certain way, they'll help you along.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Now, people have called the ceremonies that you have in the Freemasons
Right.
morality plays. Have you heard that term before? Morality plays?
No, I haven't, and I'm not quite sure what actually is meant by the question.
Okay. I guess that a ceremony is a story of some kind.
Yes, definitely.
And that story has a moral to it.
It's always an analogy.
An analogy.
It's an analogy.
Yeah.
To life in general.
Right.
And there's a lot of ritual, biblical ritual in there as well.
Biblical ritual. Right.
Yes.
Okay. Depending on what lodge you belong to, depends on how much you pay. Is that right?
But I mean the fees.
Or the fees the same throughout the whole?
It's just actually the same. The ritual and everything is the same. But needless to say that the wealthier the lodge is, the more charity is expected from one.
Right. Okay.
But come on, that's just purely a.
Are the older Masons think? Do they feel more superior to the younger ones?
No, because the young ones can be. Because the young ones can be better ritualists than the older ones.
Right. So you do.
But there are officers along. There's a grand officer is more important than an ordinary Mason, and a worshipful master is more important than also the ordinary Mason. There are, but I mean purely from the ritual level.
So you are a lodge master,
Right.
not a grand master.
No.
What,
I had grand office, but not grand master. It's a difference.
what is the difference?
Well, the grand master is the high up of the
Like Prince Philip.
Prince Philip. But also there are degrees of Masonry.
Right. Yeah.
There's 6, 7 various degrees.
And do you still have an involvement now? Do you still go to your lodges and meetings?
No.
You don't?
No. I think as you know, I lost my wife to dementia, and that's the most shocking illness and tragedy, and I seem to have lost complete control of. Then you read novels, and it's so true. You read about novels, and suddenly say the man has lost the plot. If you know what I mean by that.
Yeah.
I seem to have lost the plot. I used to be a good golfer, Freemason. I seem to have given everything up.
Since your wife's death.
Yes, I seem to have lost the plot.
So does that mean you've lost interest?
It's not interest. I've tried to come to pick up interest again, but I find it difficult to go back into it all.
Right. I mean, you were.
But once you're a Mason, no, I'm always accepted to go anywhere else, to go into any Masonry lodge.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
If one wishes so.
Have you ever brought anyone along to Freemasonry?
Yes. Not many people. Not many people.
Well, what?
But you see, Freemason, you have to have 3 people, one proposing you and 2 other people. What's the name? Confirming.
Right.
The character of the brother.
So presumably, you've had friends and you've gone to them and said, look, I think you might benefit from this.
Yeah, but not many.
Not many.
No.
So what's your criteria for asking people to join?
Do you know something? I wish you wouldn't ask me all these sorts of questions. I never thought that would come up. I don't know. I felt as though. I don't know. I can't answer you that, Philip. It's not. I did not do it, not because I didn't want to, or maybe I don't know. Maybe I was shy. I don't know. I can't.
Presumably.
Answer. I have.
I mean, if it was me, I just.
I have proposed 1 or 2 people, and have seconded a number of
I see.
Of brethren.
Right, I see. But in terms of the people you brought along yourself, if I was doing that,
Yes.
I mean, I'm not a Mason, but I would say if there was someone I really, really respected, and I really admired what they were doing, I'd probably say, you know,
Yeah, definitely.
and presumably that's what's happened with you.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So,
But it's not always the case. I mean, it doesn't always happen that you ask people that want to become Masons.
well, I've been asked, and I said no.
You didn't.
No.
May I ask you why?
I just felt it was going to take too much of my time.
I think you would make you so happy to make a wonderful brother.
Would I?
Mason, yes. No, I mean that.
I might fail on the financial front at the moment.
No. No, look. I think everything needs money. You can't go to a nice temple or to a nice sort of festive board, a nice meal, everything going out without cost as well to it.
Yeah, of course.
It has to have cost.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, I understand. Right.
But what I can only reiterate what I said, cost is not the bottom line of the join. You can join. One can become a Mason much quicker as a poor man than a rich criminal man.
Say that again. Sorry.
In other words, one can become a Mason being poor much easier than a rich man who's a criminal.
I understand. Yeah, that's good to know. I've already mentioned to you about discipline procedures. I think one of the punishments if you did if you went against Masonic rules was, I think they like pulling tongues out, didn't they?
I never heard of that.
You've never heard of that?
Never
Okay.
heard of that.
Oh, right, okay.
No. But you see the reality is, by the definition of a Mason, one has to be a good character to start off with.
Yeah. Now, getting back to perhaps something you're not able to tell me, even though this is something I can easily go to YouTube and I should have actually done it before our meeting. But I know that there's a suitcase you're given.
Yes.
And there's things in the suitcase.
No, you're not given. You buy that. That's all part of the cost of being.
That's all right.
Well, what usually happens is you're presented by friends and present you as a gift of becoming a brother.
Right. Okay. And what's in the suitcase?
Just the rituals.
So symbol.
Yes. I mean, I presume you'll have pictures of people with all the paraphernalia about the.
Right.
And of course, as one progresses, you progress to a different level, different colour, and more rituals.
Right. So it's all symbolic. Kind of items in there.
But like you go to a church. I mean, if you go to the cathedral, you see a lot more sort of rituals than you see in ordinary Sunday church.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what's this business of rolling up the old trousers?
No, those are all ritualistic based on the rituals and allegories, and that you'll have to go and find out yourself.
Right, that's something actually you're not allowed to talk about.
No, and also it's so trivial.
That's trivial as well.
I mean, like I say to you about, what the film is.
Yes, that's the Jewish thing you put on your head.
On your head again. Now, if I was to say that out of context, now doesn't that sound completely sort of irrational?
It sounds a bit odd.
Yeah, so all that sort of things, I mean...
No, I understand. So I think we've come to the end of this interview, but there is just obviously one last question, which I think you know what it is. If you've had enough, and you've actually said you don't do it anymore, so can you leave if you wanted to leave?
No, but one can leave going to the lodge, but once you're a Mason, you're always a Mason.
Is it possible to leave if you want to leave?
Well, I mean, I've left it, so leave. It doesn't matter. I mean, all it means I don't go to lodges.
Right. Okay.
But
you can't wipe your name off as never have been a Mason before.
No. I can always go to a lodge, And always go to someone else's lodge, you're saying just you're a Mason but unattached to a lodge.
Right, I see. So.
But once you're a brother, you're a Mason.
You're always brother.
Yes.
Even if you've been punished.
Oh no, that is another good question. That once you've got a police record, a criminal record, what do you?
Yes. So you're a Mason. You've been a good Mason all your life, and suddenly.
Well, all right. That to be answered at the next question time.
Right. Okay. So there are procedures.
But all I can tell you is
it's like excommunication, isn't it?
Yes, but no, there's no saying. But having lived life myself and suffered and known what people are, there are always an element of up and down and what. So you cannot have, like even what you're saying, the most pristine garden will always find some weeds about.
I'm probably going to show this interview to other Masons.
As I said, that there's nothing there that I'm ashamed of.
No. Right. Okay.
Which I think or I sort of discredited anything by being a Mason.
Great.
As far as I'm concerned, it's a wonderful fraternity.
Right.
And the principles are very, 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 very humane and worldwide, and no boundaries of religion involved in it.
Ivor, thank you very much for speaking to me today.
No problem. Well, all I can tell you is, Philip, if I was still a Mason, an actual Mason, it'd be my honour to propose you as a member.
That's very kind of you. Very kind of you indeed. And on that note, we'll finish the interview.
Right. Thank you.